Okay, everybody, today's the day. Did the roof, which is good. So now I don't have to worry, but now I want to do the doors. I'm going to save the soffit for after. I just want to get the doors up, and so no weather gets inside. So today I'm going to do the doors. And this gap here, I think it's like 6 feet. But when I cut these two front panels out, said in the plans I could use those pieces that I cut out to fill the door here. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit, not even close. For one, there's a piece in the center there, so you could tell it would only come out to here, and it's got to go out to the center. So I got these two pieces that are useless. I had to buy 2 more of these, so another 80 bucks. But I don't want to waste this good siding board. So I got 2 big pieces there, plus I'll have a little bit here after I cut it, and I got some small pieces there. I'm going to use the paneling for the soffit. Instead of getting soffit board, I'll just use that. And so when I do the soffit, it probably won't line up. It won't like be tongue and groove, so I might just have to caulk and paint that. But anyways, today I want to do the doors, and if I get those done in time, which I probably won't, but I want to do the inside shelving, or at least start it, because after I do the doors, I want to get the shelving so I could get all this junk here and some in the garage into the shed, get it out of the way. And then all I got left is trim, soffit, painting, which I'll do at my leisure. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put the trim around the door. And for the trim in the door, I decided to spend the extra money and get pressure treated wood, just because it's going to be out in the elements, make it last longer, even though I'm going to paint it. So I got 11 pieces of 2x4x8s for that, and I'm going to cut the trim now. So I'm going to measure from the bottom of the panel to the beginning of the header board for the side pieces, and then the other piece is going to go on top. Okay, in measuring the frame of the door, I measure from the bottom, the paneling, to the bottom of the header board. It's 88 1/4. The plans I'm using call for 79, so I don't know where they're getting that from, because this is 8 feet up. But anyways, I'm just using the plans as like a guide, not for strict measurements. So 88 1/4. So, and then the frame that's going along the top is going to come out and cover the top of these 2 side boards. So you got 71 1/4 inches here, or 71 1/2, and then you want to add the thickness of the 2x4 on each side, so that'd be another 7 inches. So the top frame piece is going to be 78 1/2 inches. I'm just going to cut those. A lot of what you got to do is when you're building the sheds, you got to think ahead. Like for the panels, like for the cutting the lengths of the studs, I had to figure out where the panels are going to go and how long I'm going to cut them. So for the door frame here, I cut the wood, and I got to put hinges on them. And so I want to paint it, have it painted before I put the hinges on, because, or else I got to tape the hinges so I don't get paint on them and stuff, because they're nice hinges. So I'm debating, like, I could screw the frame on and plug up the holes and then paint it while it's on the shed, or I could just paint it there and then put them up. But then I'm going to put screw holes in there, and then I'll have to plug that up. But I was thinking just prime it like this, because I want to prime the cut ends. Prime it like this, screw it on, plug the screw holes up and with silicone, and then paint it white. And that's, I think, what I'm going to do. Okay, I gave 2 coats of primer just to the one side of the frame. And the other side, since it's pressure treated, I'm not going to bother doing the other side. So I'm going to let that dry. And I ran out of white exterior paint for when I did the floors in there. And so I got to go pick up another can of white exterior paint. But I also need 1 3/4 inch screws for the door. So I'm going to go do that while this primer dries. And it should take me about a half hour. I'll be back. Okay, got this primed, and I'm gonna make sure it's flush with the bottom of the panel and the top there, and flush with the side. Beautiful clamps. Gonna make sure it's level too. I got my 3.5 inch nails, and there's 2 studs side by side here. So it's 3 inches. This is 3.5 inches across. This thing's going to hold the door. I don't really want to put just 1 screw down thing. I'm going to put 2 screws periodically, maybe every like 2 feet or so down. And got an ant here. Counter-sequence screws, I'm going to put silicone over that. So on this side, you want to go a little bit more. The 1/2 inch is nothing, so at least 1 inch in. Okay, I just placed the top piece of the frame on, and you see I made a mistake here. I probably should have put the top plate on first. I went to go see if it was level, and that little piece of wood, or that part of the frame here, is a little bit higher than this one, just a little bit. So I had to put a little tiny shimmy in there. So, because you want to make sure that this top plate is level, because the door is going to open and close, and if it's not level, it could hit the top. So install the top piece of the frame, make sure it's level, and put that in first. So I've solved the problem with the shimmy, which is okay, and I'll just attach that, and I'm done with this. All done. Looks ugly with those screws, but I'm gonna put caulking in them now, smooth them out. Okay, now to cover the screws, one way to do it is use silicone. Wet your finger on a cloth, kind of like smear it over. And then use a paintbrush, kind of put bristle marks in there. I put a little too much on, but that's generally like kind of how you do it. I should have got rid of those little things there. And now, just for added look better and added protection, I'm gonna just caulk the edges. I did the top already on the other side, so I'm just gonna okay, I'm done caulking. Now I got to build the doors. So I'm going to start with the 2x4s, the frame of the doors first before I cut the panels. And so the door is going to come down to the bottom of the frame here, so it's going to overlap here. So I'm going to measure from here to the top of the jamb, but look at that spider there. But I'm going to make it come down probably like a 1/4 inch from the top. Ooh, look at that spider. This is ugly. It's a grass spider. They've been invading this shed. Didn't take them too long. They're all over the place already in the shed. So just measure it up to the top and the bottom. Subtract about a 1/4 inch. And that way there's a little bit of room at the top in case it's not perfectly aligned. Get a little bit of leeway. Okay, I measured 88 3/16 of an inch. That fit right from top to bottom. So I want a little bit of a gap just in case. I don't want it to be super tight or tight enough where it doesn't fit. So I'm going to take off 3/16 of an inch and just do 88 inches. So mark it there. And I'm cutting it on a 45-degree angle. So the longest length has to be 88. And cutting it on a 45-degree angle is going to make it look better, and it'll be easier to screw the two pieces in instead of doing it like I did the trim. It'd be hard to screw in. The trim was I could just go right into the back, into the studs, but for this I gotta attach these pieces together, so it'd be easier on a 45-degree angle. Okay, I cut my board. Just make sure you're careful that the 45-degree angles are cut the right way. You have to cut them opposite. And the total length from the longest tip to the longest tip should be your measurement, which is 88 inches. And see, we got all this roughness here from the cut. This is going to be on the door, so I got my little hand sander there. I'm just going to smooth it out. And so it's nice and smooth. Looks good. And like before, instead of measuring again, you just line it up and mark it. And I need 4 of those. 2 for each door. Okay, I cut my 4 pieces, and I just want to sand that off so it looks better. Okay, now I got to do the width of the doors. Now there's 2 doors, so I measured from the end of the whiteboard to the other inner end, and that was 71.5 inches. So like I said before, I'm not going to make it exactly perfect 71. It's going to be a tight fit, which would be nice, but if it doesn't close easy or something, it's just a little bit off, it'd be tight. So I'm going to take off a 1/4 inch. So it's 71.25 inches, and there'll just be a 1/4 inch space in the center if everything goes well. So 71.25 inches divided by 2, and that'll be the width of the door frame of the doors. I gotta cut 4 of those. Okay, I decided to go with instead of a 1/4 inch, I did an 1/8 inch. So I'm gonna go try as tight as possible. So there's my 2 cuts for the door there, and they fit like almost perfectly. There's the 1/8 inch there. So I'm just gonna make 2 more of those. Okay, now I'm just putting the width pieces out just so you can get an idea how it fits. Now in the center of the doors there's going to be like a brace beam going from here to here. So I just got to measure, actually from that inner to the inner there, and I need 2 of those, 1 for each door. And also each door is going to have a diagonal that's going to go here like that. So I should actually just cut 2 more of those for each door, so another 4. I got 1 extra 2x4 just in case I screw something up, but so far so good. Okay, it's nighttime now. That's all I could do, but for cutting, so I cut all the pieces for the doors, for the frames of the doors. And so what I'm going to do now is, next few hours, I'm just going to prime these, put 2 coats of primer on these, and then I'm going to put them together tomorrow if it doesn't rain. Then probably I'll paint them white, and then install them, and then I can put the hinges on them, and I don't have to worry about getting paint on the hinges, so because the trim's already painted. Okay, the next day, it was too humid last night, so I couldn't finish painting the primer on the door pieces. So I just finished it. I just put 1 coat of primer on both sides to protect it in that, and now while that's drying, I'm gonna paint the frame with white paint here. Okay, I just laid out pieces of one of the doors. That's what it's gonna look like. So I'm just gonna screw these together, and then I'm gonna cut the panels to fit on the back one of these. Okay, now I'm gonna screw these doors together. The first thing I just want to make sure corner's square. Which it is. And to keep it in place, while I screw them on and get a little bit more support, I'm just going to put a piece of wood there and screw that on. That way it won't move while I'm screwing these two together. I'm just going to use a 2-inch screw. I got the big bucket, 3-inch screws. And I'm just going to go this way. In at an angle. Countersink screws. And I'll go one on this side. So 2 screws for each end. Okay, then I'm going to repeat the same thing at the other end. Make sure it's square. Just repeat the other corners. Now I'm just going to install the center board, which you can cut. It's not cut exact, but it'll do. I just measured the length, so half of the length is 44, so we'll put this in the center at 44. Make sure it's square. And I'm just going to go on an angle in. Now I'm just screwing these things here, just make sure they're the same. Come up from underneath, and the panels will go on top of this and connect it all together too. Now I can take these out. bottom, level. Looks good. Now I'm going to cut a panel to put on top of this. I got to think what door this would be first. That would be this side, right here. So I'm just gonna finish that other door panel and then cut the panel. Doors. The panel has got to come up above here because I don't want it interfering with this. So I'm gonna screw the panel line up here. So I'm not gonna make the panel go right from end to end. So it's gonna come in a little bit so it doesn't interfere with anything coming out like any. Like you can see, it's not even here. I don't want it hitting that or anything. So I'm just gonna like a 1/2 inch on each side. So I got 85.5 centimeters by 35, and I'm just gonna cut that out right now. This extension cord's nice, 3 prongs, but it always does that. Okay, I laid out the board. Since I want the plywood to start up here, it's got to come up 2 inches from the bottom, so it's still 1 inch on there. And it's about 1/4 inch around the rest of the sides. So I'm just going to screw the board together on the outsides. Then I'm going to lift it up and then figure out where the other boards are and screw those boards in. I have 1 3/4 inch screws I'm using. Okay, the moment of truth. piece of wood or something. But that's got to be level with that. So it's going to go up another 1.5 inches. And I already showed you the fit. So now I'm just going to screw it back panel to these 3 pieces of wood. Okay, now I just screw the outer frame together of the other one. Now I'm lining up together, just so I want to be perfect, that the center boards are the same, so I'm going to line all these inner boards the same. Then I'm going to flip this one over and put the panel on. Okay, I have my doors all done. So now I'm just gonna paint the trim white and finish painting that trim white. And then I could put it up once it dries. Well, it's starting to get dark now. I still got another coat to put on there, so I don't know if we'll be putting the doors up tonight. I might. Anyways, I found a way to hold the door up. Just a 2x4, the width of it's 1.5 inches, and that's exactly where the door has to sit. So I'll just rest the door on there and it should be level, and just screw the hinges on. Okay, it's next day. It's all painted up. I got my 2 boards there where I'm going to rest the door on and try to level it. Hopefully it's level by itself. Let's install the doors. Okay, I just finished putting that door in. It's a very tight fit. I should have left a little bit more space. There's the paint and everything too, but it's just like perfect fit. So I'm gonna try and see if the other door fits in beside it. Okay, I tried fitting the doors in. The left board went in just perfectly tight. Just fits into the second board. Doesn't fit in, it's out a little bit. A couple millimeters. That's what I get for trying to make it exactly perfect fit. I should have, like I said before, I should have left more of a space. The only solution to the problem is a plane. I got to plane the sides and the top, repaint it, and then fit it again. Well, it's going to set me back more, but at least it's not, there's a solution. At least there's a solution to the problem. Okay, went and got a plane. My first time planing, I already don't like it. And so I'm just gonna plane the 2 sides and the top. The bottom's got to stay the same. I figure about 1 millimeter off each side should be sufficient. And after this, I'm gonna probably sand it and paint it. But I'm gonna make sure it fits first. Okay, after a long laborious chore there planing, I got them to fit. Now they're just loosely in there now, so I gotta smooth the edges out and then paint them, and then I'll install them. At least they fit. Okay, it's nighttime now, and because of that setback, I'm gonna try to install the doors now. Still a tight fit, but doable now. Okay, I got the hinges on. A little bit rough because the door kept trying to go in. But it opens and closes fine. So I'm just going to put the latches and the lock and the handles on. Okay, there's my finished shed doors. Two handles, a latch, and a lock. And I'm going to buy 2 more hinges to make it stronger, put in the center there. And other than that, it's done. Okay, I'll show you the doors in the daytime. There's the completed doors. That's it. So, I bought paint here. I might paint the door. The door color inside. And do the shelves today.